Today's podcast, I am so excited to share with you guys. We have such a treat with Victoria Rader from Quantum Personal Development. We had a little bit of technical difficulties on this podcast. I had a mic issue and it didn't pick up any of my sounds. So if it sounds a little meshed together, that is why. But I'm really excited to share this podcast with you. Victoria shared her insights on the law of creation and its key parts. So, awareness, alignment, action, abundance. We explored how to use the universal laws for personal growth and to manifest anything that you want, any desired reality. We also discussed the balance between fear and desire, the power of magnetism, and the art of giving and receiving. This episode is full of practical tips, like get your notebook out. It is so inspiring and so incredible. And this will just align your energy with your goals. It's going to help you recognize and overcome your blocks while also embracing abundance. Victoria and I look forward to guiding you on this inspiring journey of self-mastery. We'll show you how to tap into these universal laws and create a life full of purpose and passion. Hi, Victoria. Welcome to the show. I know you have a business called Quantum Personal Development, and I'm so excited to dive deep in how this helps and changes people's lives. I know it's based on universal laws, and we were talking earlier about the law of creation, and I just really want you to tell me all about law of creation.
Amazing. Well, so, our company is called You to Shine, and we pioneered the quantum personal development. And all of a sudden, Forbes Switzerland said, "You are it. You're speaking of it. You're creating it, and that's how you create. The law of creation, in its simplicity, is one phrase: energy is. But because our curious, addicted to brain candy mind can be like, what do you mean energy is? What do you mean energy is? We have to understand it in subcategories. And so under a very big concept of energy is, there's a next category of energy is never created or destroyed. It is simply always moving. It is translated, transformed, and what's called transmuted. So you take the energy flow, which are these little electrons that consist of everything, and you transmute it from potential energy to the actual creation. So the law of creation is really the law that says, how do I take just an idea from a bridge to a family to a country and materialize it? And the word materialize it is a part of creation. What is materialization? It's taking energy or an idea and putting it into the actual matter. That is the basics of the law of creation. So then the question becomes, how do we have it work for us versus against us? Because at all points, we're master creators. People are like, how can I become better at creating? I'm like, no, you're a master. You're a master at creating. The question is, master at creating what? So the only thing we're changing is not our innate mastery to create, but our awareness of what we're creating now, and then through the steps of creation to what we would rather create. And so there are four steps under this law of creation. The first one is awareness. And it's so important. So many people, I'll name the steps first. It's awareness, alignment, action, and abundance. So the first one is awareness. So often we're simply unaware of what we're creating. So I often say, notice what you notice, because what you notice and how you notice is what you create. So what does that even mean? So if I am wanting to create a soulmate, it's on my mind because tomorrow I'm doing a love me seminar for soulmates. So it's on my mind. I'll use the soulmate. So if I am looking to create a soulmate partnership, when I see other couples that are happy, I need to observe how I'm noticing that. Am I genuinely deeply happy for them? Or am I like, come on, why them, not me? Why is, am I observing through desperation or through inspiration? Because the truth is, for all of us, all day long, we will either create our greatest desire or our greatest suppressed fear, whichever one is stronger within us. Every day, every moment of our life, we're either co creating our greatest fear or our greatest desire. So that's just awareness.
And how does one discern from desire and fear, right? Because I feel like I know, let's say anxiety, right? So anxiety feels the same as excited in my body. It feels the same. So I agree. We're constantly creating from either fear or desire. But sometimes is it you desire it because you fear what won't happen if you don't desire it, or vice versa? So how do you discern between fear and desire?
I think, Shakespeare said it best. He said, to be or not to be, that is the question. So the question you ask yourself is, do you want to be thriving, to be healthy, to be loved? Or do you not want to be alone, broke, abandoned, and sick? And so when you're excited, what are you excited for? For no longer being broke or for ability to bless the lives of others through your generosity? So that is a very thin line, right? That's where the mastery lies. But what are you truly excited? Are you excited about getting out of lack? Because that is a not to be. Or are you excited and overjoyed about sharing from presence, which is to be? And that's true for everything, right? The fastest way to reverse it is whatever you want, give that. Whatever you want, give that. You want attention from a partner, go pour attention to them. You want kindness, give kindness. You're broke, find somebody who's more broke, take them out to lunch and pay for it. And so that shifts it energetically to the
Is
presence
that
from the
I-
absence.
you tell me, I know you're the master of the laws. Is that law of reciprocity also, where it's like you're giving based on it's interesting to me because I'm probably going to butcher this a little bit, but it's like, yes, give. I'm a big give, serve, be generous. My other question is, do some people sometimes give because they want to receive, right? I feel like there's a difference between giving because you really want to give and you genuinely care and you want to serve. And then there's, right, ask and you shall receive. And there's give, like what you give is what you get back. Are some people giving just to get?
You're bringing a lot of cool laws into presence. One of them that stands out the most is a misconstrued order of one of the basic laws, and that is law of receiving and giving. And our humanity has changed it to the law of giving, or the law of giving and receiving. And once you understand the proper order of the law, you understand you can only give what is inside of you, what you already received. There's no other way. A glass full of water cannot give juice, no matter how much it calls what it gives juice. If it's water, it's water. And so no matter how much you call service service, if it is resentment, it is resentment. If you're so we come into this life and we are given the first breath. So we take it, we breathe in. And then when we leave this mortal life, we give it back. We know that the body has checked out and the energy of the spirit moved on when we give our last breath out. And so the original law, the universal law, is of receiving and giving. And so a lot of us have disconnected from our capacity to receive from the true source because the very energy of creation, the love through which everything is received, has been damaged or limited by people that were giving it to us through their own limitation. And so they cut us off. The life, the environment, the trauma has cut us off from restoring, receiving from one true source. And when you receive from the source, not demanding to receive from any other human being, then you are fulfilled and filled from within, and then you are giving what is within you. And you are giving, to your point, because this is who you are, not because you want to get something. And so, an amazing question, right? Because it brings it into awareness like that. And so, what happens to us, we're like, as if we do what you're suggesting and we say, well, I'm giving to only get back, then we feel either greedy or we feel guilt. And when you feel guilt, that blocks any and all manifestation immediately and
A
permanently.
thousand.
So to your point, receive from the source first.
Mm, beautiful. Yeah, I love it. Okay, next part of the law of creation is alignment.
Yes, alignment is how we create everything first, awareness,
Okay.
then alignment. You first become aware. You become aware of what you don't want. You become aware of what you want. And you align your energy with what it is that you want genuinely, by understanding that there's an infinite supply of that, by practice, by meditation, by truly allowing yourself to receive. You align via visualization. And so, how do we? I'm going to give a very simple mastery system in 3 sentences, five maybe, of how to manifest anything, to create anything. So, before you go to bed, very important, before you go to bed, you're going to visualize one aspect as if whatever it is you're creating in your life already exists. And you're going to visualize to the point of emotion, not the whole picture, one tiny aspect to the point of emotion. So, for example, I'm going to stick to one example for simplicity of soulmate relationship, because it's on my mind. So, if you're manifesting a relationship with a soulmate and you say, "I want kindness because I lacked kindness before, and that's my trauma," so I'm gonna release the trauma of lack of kindness or narcissism through focusing on kindness. So you have to create a mental image without a person's face attached, just trusting that the right face at the right time will be there. What does kindness look like to me? Because for me, one of the love languages is physical touch. Somebody who's kind would be rubbing my feet. So if I am bringing more kindness, I'm going to fall asleep almost teary eyed at the moment of receiving a little foot rub in my mind. Why before I go to sleep? Because the first 4 hours of sleep, our subconscious mind is replaying the image we fall asleep with, and it creates neural receptors and pathways in our brain, activating the reticular activating system, the system that filters all of the reality. So I'm going to use the sleeping time to manifest. But then when you wake up, so you've aligned with the vision and the feeling. The feeling is the emotion, energy in motion. You visualized it, you've given it energy, all parts of alignment. And then the step three, which is action, the next day, you act at a frequency of what it is you're willing to receive by being that. You ask yourself, how can I live from the place of ultimate kindness? So the amazing thing happens. This is the process that changes you, that tunes you up, that expands you as a vibrational energy to be able to be a match to anything you're designed to receive. And so that is where the process from awareness, alignment, and then action. And action is very, very important to keep the alignment.
Yeah, 1,000%. I also, if I may add, another practice that I love with this law of creation is, where do you feel it in your body? Like, where it's like, oh, if my soulmate is rubbing my feet, where do I feel it in my body? And then it's like, oh, I get to insource that feeling when I take the action. And I mean, I love law of creation and manifestation and all these beautiful energetics to really create any desire that we want. And I think these tips are incredible, and they're worth a test. What So tell me, what are some law of creations that you've done for yourself? What I know we were using the soulmate, but I want to hear for you, how has this worked for you? What have you created?
From the basic material to the high spiritual, I started with material, right? I grew up in Ukraine, where every summer I went to live in the village with my grandma and grandpa that had an outhouse and no indoor plumbing, well water and outhouse. And we're recording this beautiful interview from my beach home, that my backyard is the Atlantic Ocean. And it's been my dream. It's been my manifestation, not because of the home, but because of what it represents for my retired mom and dad, who I feel sacrificed so much. And the luxury of knowing I have a beautiful healing place to bring them here anytime. And that's one material thing that unfolded. I remember standing at the deck and watching them walk on the beach and just completely choking up because of the match of the energy of how many times I fell asleep to the feeling of seeing them there. And all of a sudden, seeing it, like it was a wave of emotion. And that's just from a practical material stand, from the car, from the opportunity, from business, from amazing opportunities of working with every person I've ever wanted to work with. When I watched The Secret, I said, oh, wow, these are my people. So I can say I was personally mentored by Bob Proctor. I'm in the movie with Joe Vitale. I was in Mastermind with John Assaroff. I'm a executive producer for Lisa Nichols' show on Broadway. But so speaks Lisa's bro. So those people I saw in The Secret, and I said, these are my people. I want to be a loving equal. If that's not a manifestation, law of creation, I don't know what is. I never knew the how, right? We don't know the hows. We just say, this is what I want, this is what I feel. And because it was so important for me to be giving versus just receiving from them or taking, those are equal partnerships. Those are thriving, loving, equal, nourishing partnerships. And so, with my family, with the travel, I was born in a country where you couldn't leave the country without exit visa. And I remember as a kid, unconsciously competent, seeing myself on the Great Wall of China or being standing in a Taj Mahal in India. I've been to both plus 47 other dream places in my life. I still have a ton of them on my list. And so it works, it works, it works. For me, it worked unconsciously, competently first, and then deciphering how and why it worked, and now empowering others and supporting them, because what blocks it is our subconscious patterns. And so one of the things we do is we find those patterns and we create a quantum shift environment. When there is a sabotaging belief that you seem to be doing the system, but it's not unfolding, it's because you're just running into the wall of a deep sabotaging belief that needs to be bypassed.
And so how can somebody how can you get past the wall, right? Because we're on hamster wheels all the time. And I know people are resistant to change. It's like our brain is like, change, no. And so awareness, oh, okay, wait, I'm hitting a wall. What's a practical tip or solution that once somebody has that awareness of, oh wow, I keep hitting this wall, how can I bust through it or go around it or whatever feels good for you? What's something that you can do or that you've done that has helped get you past that wall?
A fantastic question. Got to tell you, because it was asked thousands of times, one of the free offers we have is an answer to that. Truly, so you couldn't have asked I could have paid you for marketing for a free offer, and you still probably wouldn't have asked it in such a perfect way. Because, but truly, I want to point something out before I point people to that free resource. Is that it's a luxury to know what the block is. For most of us, we're aware the block is there, but we don't know what it is because it's so deeply subconscious. That's the solution we were looking for. And so, for over 20 years of practice and truly thousands, and if I take my coaches, tens of thousands of sessions, we've created a list of 50 greatest blocks and 50 freedom quantum shifts for those blocks. And I recorded an absolutely free technique, which is our proprietary technique. We have global instructors all over the world with free knee EFT, which is we used a gorgeous gift of traditional EFT and then added the feminine flow and a little bit of other practices to it. And so if you go to mygiftoffer.com, what you get is a quantum leap ebook and a video. And the video takes you through 12-minute technique. So then you can go through that list. And I would suggest don't pick which one you think you have. Go through all 50 with that technique and keep a journal of how your life is going to change as a result of that. Because some of the things you're going to be like, I don't have it. And then you're going to start releasing it. And this wave of suppressed emotion will come to the surface. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't, I had no idea I had it. And those are the ones that run our lives that are so deeply suppressed that we have no idea, or we're in classic denial about them because up till now we didn't have the skill. And so that, mygiftoffer.com, that is absolutely free. And the next question that came as a result of us creating that offer was, what's the first go to? And the first go to is money. I have more people that have come to us stuck with money than with anything else. There's a reason for that, because the root chakra, the lowest energy center, the lowest to the ground, has to do with safety, security, and money. And that stores most trauma. And so that is like, when you go to the site, I would say use the free stuff first. If you wanted to get an incredible offer there, you'll get my 8-hour 35 Universal Laws of Money videos for only $97. But do the free stuff first. It's very important, because if you won't do the free stuff, you won't do the paid stuff. So why pay? Just my theory on money. Be a good steward of your money.
Sometimes, right? That I want to circle back to that, but before I do, I want to go back to the blocks, because there's three phases, right? There's I don't have any blocks. And then there's, oh my God, I have so many blocks. I don't know how I'm going to get through life because they're everywhere and I don't know what to do. Right. And then there's a third one where it's like, oh, I learned how to use the blocks as my stepping stones to get to the law of creation and create the beauty and desires and dreams and feelings that we want. And yes, a lot of people probably coming to your free resource is, I don't have any blocks. Right. And that's where the we circle back to awareness, and it's like, okay, wait, yes, I do have blocks. And the people who don't think they have blocks are the ones that are resistant to change the most. Right. They're fine, they're on their hamster wheel and they're good with how their life is and they don't care about change. My biased opinion is when people want to change, all the blocks come up. And it's all the reasons why that they can't call themselves forward into getting to the next level. And the fact that you have 50 blocks in one resource is amazing. I'm going to go check that out, because I know the basic ones, right? We know self-doubt, procrastination, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, money, time, balance, right? Those are the basic ones, but it's like, wait, there are other ones, and I'm really curious to navigate through some of those, not just for my own curiosity, but also to help with my clients and my coaching, to be like, oh, okay, like here's a way to navigate this block. And then it's coming back to, okay, I realize I have self-doubt as a block. Let's just use that in soul and finding my soulmate and building my business and being a mom or parent, whatever it may be. It's like, okay, let's really understand how this block, not just like letting it go and moving through it, but how is it trying to serve you? Right? Because self doubt, like going back to the root chakra, it's just trying to keep you safe. Like doubt in some roundabout, sneaky way is just trying to protect you.
All of them do. All of them without an exception. It's their job. Their job is to keep us in survival, and they do a great job. And if your choice is to stay in survival, amazing, right? But if you want to thrive, survival will scream. And to your point about the doubt, I want to play with something. I opened up the book. I will want you to pick a number for your audience, and we'll see what out of 50, and
Yeah,
we'll
let's
see
do
what it
it.
is, because I feel aligned. It'll help somebody tremendously. So I pulled it up. So while you think of the number, but I wanted to say something to self doubt. The first step, the first bridge to use the strength you developed, use the weakness you developed as a strength. So you can say, I'm so great at self doubt.
Mhm.
I'm going to doubt that I self doubt myself. This is phenomenal. Just put all your doubt into your self doubt. Do I really have self doubt? Do I really have self doubt? Like, you can reverse it, and I call them the bridge belief, right? The bridge belief is, it has helped me so far. I'm going to thank it by using it, quote unquote, against itself or dissolve itself, because that's the fastest way to use it.
And it's also kind of the paradox of transformation, right? It's like meeting the self-doubt with self-doubt. And it's like, okay, let's
Yep.
unravel. Yeah, sorry, I'm still like processing. But it's true. It's the way through. And it's having the awareness and hamming it up, right? Too. It's like, oh, let's really go deep on self-doubt. Like, man, self-doubt, like I'm not good enough. I'll never, you keep going down the rabbit hole and it starts to sound almost humorous of like, okay, I'm ridiculous. I can call myself forward and be like, oh, okay. And then it's like, oh, okay, it's just trying to keep me safe. Now you have the awareness, the deeper desire of the doubt or whatever the
Yep.
block is, and then be able to move into the alignment so that you can take the action and then feel into the abundance. But until you have the awareness of the block, there's no you're hitting the wall. You're coming back to the wall.
Absolutely. Doubt your doubts. Doubt your doubts. That's, if you have
Yep.
self doubt, doubt your doubts. It's really gorgeous. All right, well, pick a number. Let's play the game. I'm really excited. I haven't done this before.
Okay, number 1 out of 50?
Yes.
Let's do 33.
All right, let's go to 33. That's a good one, actually. It says, my health holds me back. One of the beliefs we see
Mm,
all the time is, my health holds me back. And I got to tell you, because each one of these will have hundreds of stories. But one of the stories I have here is a woman who could not build a business because she had this whole idea, as soon as I feel better, I'll do better. It's a very
mm,
limiting belief. As soon as then
right.
is the core of limitation. And so the very first thing you do energetically, through quantum shifting techniques, is you learn that you can do both. You can actually start with weakness. I can have a horrible health and a beautiful productivity, that it's possible. Oh, I no longer have to have horrible health as an excuse for not having productivity. And so you heal both. But in 33, the limitation is, my health holds me back. And the affirmation in a new program is, every day in every way, my health is improving. Now, the 12-minute tapping technique would release any and all stagnant energy. And when we say health, we understand it not just physical. So when you tap out, my health is holding me back, we've got to understand it's universal. Health of relationship, health of finances, health of business, health of career, health of body. So then we give freedom to wholeness in every area. And then each one of these in the ebook has a quote. And I invite people to read the quote throughout the day. That's a practical application, not affirming about me, but affirming the understanding of the quote after you do the shift. And so this is actually from Arabian proverb: he who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. That is so huge. Look at the alignment we just had, Karen. I have chills through my body. You said doubt, and we just gave a little bit of hope. That's all we've done. We just asked, have hope. Doubt your doubts, because that's the beginning of hope. And now all of a sudden, it's all aligned for us to say, he who has health has hope, and he who
Mm.
has hope has everything. That would be the basis of creation. So thank you for playing. That was way fun.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so much more fun being in possibility, creating and what's possible for us versus being stuck in the past and being stuck because like Byron Katie says, if you argue with reality, you will lose 100% of the time. Having an argument with your past, it already happened. So just really calling yourself forward into possibility and moving past the blocks and the doubts and meeting doubt with doubt and and going beyond health and knowing the possibility of optimal health and all the whole wellness wheel of life
Yeah, hope really shines. It really gives people possibility and courage, even courage to move forward, courage to call themselves forward into whatever that next level is, and being that CEO of your life and showing up in your full wholeness without and having a limiting beliefs all listed out in a way for people to see it. They're going to become more aware, and then it's like, oh, okay, I just changed your life, you're welcome. Right. And it's just such a I mean, all these tools that and resources that we have to really move the needle in our life is so beautiful. It's just seeing the beauty in the discomfort. And a lot of times discomfort sucks. I mean, I try to go in an ice bath every day. It sucks. Right? But it's learning how to be comfortable with discomfort. And when you do, and you see the blocks and you have the awareness and the alignment, and you can then take aligned action, right? Because we can take action, but we need to take aligned action to
Absolutely.
create the abundance. And I think we all want abundance, right? In some sort of way. Who doesn't want abundance?
Oh, no, 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 no. There you go. Awareness, not in some sort of way, in a positive. We're already
Yes.
abundant.
Well, it's already
I've
here.
started this journey with being,
Yes.
yeah, I've started this journey with abundance of, questions and abundance of lack and abundance of disease. And so I think this goes back to what we were talking about with creation. Abundance is all we're shifting is awareness of what kind of abundance we want more of in our life, and that's the journey. I just love how where you started, you
Yes,
brought
no, this
back.
was so beautiful. And just before we end the call, you were talking about law of magnetism. So what is the difference between law of attraction and I know we didn't really go deep into law of attraction, but I feel most of our listeners know what law of attraction is. So what's the difference between law of magnetism and law of attraction and law of creation, right? Because they all seem pretty similar. So what's law of magnetism?
So, great question. The law of creation is the law. All the other laws are subsidiary or secondary or under it. The law,
Okay.
so if you look at the energy, energy is the law of creation. Energy is, it creates through movement. The movement happens through the law of frequency. The frequency happens through the law of vibration. The vibration happens through the law of magnetism. So now we're at the law of magnetism. And the law of magnetism has two poles, the law of polarity. The magnetism is polarized, just as in physical world you hold a magnet, parts of it attracts, part of it repels. So it is in universal law, so it is in spiritual life. And so the law of attraction is half the law. The law of attraction is a one polarity of the law of magnetism, which is why so many people cannot master it. They're trying to, I'm sorry for the word, half-ass the law of magnetism. And so where does
You can really curse on here, by the way. It's fine.
yeah, so when you come to the law of attraction is, please understand that when you attract, when your power of authentic attraction, you become who you are more and more and more. So you resonate the energy with greater clarity. So you're attracting with greater power. That's 50% of the law of magnetism. What happens with the other 50? You repel and you are repelled. You're rejected for all of your light with the same power. So, what happens to most of us? We've been so traumatized being unloved, unliked, questioned, and criticized, we are uncomfortable with rejection. And when rejection comes, instead of celebrating it,
Mhm.
we hide, we dim our light, the attraction goes down. And so going forward, I want everybody to be equally thrilled that they got praise and compliments as when they get criticism. Because it means, wow, I've triggered somebody enough to repel me, to reject me. I welcome that because I'm attracting. That to me is a golden nugget that is worth $1 million right there.
Yeah. Is that the same as, and maybe this isn't a real law and I made it up, I don't know, but is this the same as law of polarity?
So the law of polarity, as I've mentioned, is under the law of magnetism. And so
Okay.
that the law of polarity is a little bit deeper. Magnetism is an attraction, and repelling is absolutely through the two poles. You're absolutely right. But then it goes a little bit deeper into practical application where two similar energies will be on the same pole. What does that mean? Grief and joy are on the same pole of emotion. We are shifting from one to another. And so, to deepen our capacity for joy, we are deepening our capacity for grief. And isn't that fascinatingly true that people that have gone through some of the most outrageous periods of grief are the ones that have the greatest capacity to enjoy every moment of life? Our fear of experiencing a pole dumbs it down to experiencing its polar opposite. We've come here to become masters of the full polarity without fear, but with mastery. So, great question. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And it's also, right, the very thing that you're trying to avoid, it's the very thing you're creating.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, so good. So good. Thank you so much for joining us today. This was awesome. I learned so much from you. I'm so excited. So, where can people find you? I know you mentioned a couple of resources, but let's get really clear. Where's your website? How do they get there? Are you on any social medias? How can people connect with you?
Sure. The free offer is mygiftoffer.com. Then we have a free group that we don't sell to, that we support and heal through, and that's freeme.group. That's a Facebook group. Those are the two free resources, and they're genuinely free, no strings attached. I know it's a little shocking, but they are. And then for any path of freedom, if you go to our website, which is shine.com, you2shine.com, you will see that we have different journeys of freedom. Whatever you're looking to become free in, quantum leap to joy and freedom in, there's freedom to forgive, there is freedom to prosper, and so forth and so on. So you would find your journey at you2shine.com. And on Instagram, it's underscore, but no, not underscore. What is it called? At handle Vika, VICA underscore Rader, RADER. And I do answer any genuine questions on Instagram. So please ask. I will find time to answer.
Beautiful. And I will put all of that information in the show notes so that it's there and easy for people to click and find you. One last thing, if you had one intelligent next step that somebody can do in the next 24 hours, what would that be?
I would say stop. Just stop and pause, completely stop and pause. And then whatever's happening in your life, say, this is normal. It does not have to be my norm. Going forward, I will find a new norm for me. That's what I would do.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to connect with you in the future. Thank you so much. I would love to have you back.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for having me and for excellent questions that created this flow. Thank you.